Team Kaliber. More specifically, Kenny, who's a player you need to have a good map.
Typically seen with the PPSH in his hands. Now he's going to start with the STG, and it's a great start for accuracy as he finds 2. TK now can push forward on the map. Obviously on this first hardpoint, when we're talking about pit center, it's all about controlling the high ground. Get your ARs set up and just mow down the players as they run into you.
Yep, most definitely that's what you want to see. Of course, do bear in mind, you want to see potentially TK try and push through, see if they can get control of the spawns for the next hill early on though. Not too much to worry about. Pretty even split, low point game.
Yeah, I mean, look, the pit center, it's going to be contested. Right now, you just want to hold spawns for that next upcoming hardpoint. You know, play towards that backside of the map and hold exactly where Replace is holding here. He's got some shot, raining down some shots. Zuma's able to find 2, but FaZe, right? They have the better positioning for this upcoming hardpoint. Just back up, hold that positioning, and try to rack up some time.
And it's actually Zuma who's had a fantastic start. 5 and 2, was slaying around the hill. More importantly, made sure he didn't get overzealous, didn't push through, didn't mess up the spawns, if you will. So FaZe still with the advantage here as the hardpoint rotates over towards our second location. Kenny trying to be a nuisance, he will fall, and FaZe has done a great job of just locking down this side of the map.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and as they get that clean wipe on TK, they're now coming off spawn trying to retake control of the map, so FaZe can push up and just play where they want. And Zuma having a good start here is important for FaZe Clan because the assault rifles on FaZe are, I think, in my opinion, are weaker than that on Team Kaliber, so if Zuma's able to constantly push out those lanes, he's going to be able to apply so much pressure onto the map.
Most definitely will. Priesta halfway through now towards his fighter pilot. You see him roaming around looking for those kills. Kenny tries to push through. He's going to get shut down. And now you have to look at this next rotation, right? You have maybe one final push if you're a TK, and that could come in the form of Chino, but you know, ultimately he's not going to go for it. And you actually have Theory who spawns out. He's now going to challenge the hill for the remaining scrap time at 17 seconds. Not even going to be able to get the kills. And FaZe Clan, they look fantastic here. And Priesta could cause some massive, massive pain to her on rotation.
Yeah, Priesta's been a player that we've been hyping up a lot, and it's FaZe off to a hot start. Now up by 50 points, but look, Gibraltar, anything's possible here. As long as you win the rotations, you get the proper setup, you can make any comeback happen. The big thing here is you can't let Priesta get streaks. As he's one shot, you got to pick up this kill. Deny him from getting those streaks on a map like Gibraltar. They're so impactful, and he's just staying alive. Top bricks, looking for kills where he can. Catches the grenade, he falls, but he earns 2 streaks in the process. Worth it.
And don't underestimate that play, right? He was the first player from FaZe to rotate from second to third. He got in an initial gunfight, had to stay alive, didn't win it, then manages to win a gunfight, get the 2 streaks. Wonderful stuff from him.
And he immediately uses the glide bomb, picks up a kill, but on this Castle Road hardpoint, unless you have a player like physically all the way in the back to block the spawn, TK are still going to spawn there, so maybe a little bit of a waste of the glide bomb there, but we'll see how it plays out. It's going to be TK finding their way back into this game. If they're able to get the rest of the scrap time, then they'll only be down by around 6 points. It's all about the rotation as we move over towards the center.
I feel like that's one of the reaction things, right? You go on a big streak, you get your streaks, you're like, all right, I'm just going to use it straight away, but as you mentioned, TK still holding those spawns, and they pick up a ton of time there on Castle Road, and this is basically going to be, what, just shy of a 10-point game here, still in favor of FaZe Clan as we rotate, but FaZe, they're ready and waiting on the rotation already.
Okay, TK starting to spawn now, and I like spawning on this side of the map for this turret hardpoint. You're able to just attack from multiple angles, whereas if you're forced to fight through cave, right, you got to go through the narrow staircase, or you got to like fight through that top window. It's just really tough when you have the ARs that are set up just constantly putting bullets into where you're running. But FaZe still maintaining the lead that they currently have. Replay's looking over his teammates inside the hardpoint, just laying down some cover fire. You want to tag up these players as they push into the hardpoint, so your guy like Zuma here could just clean up the kill and rack up more points because he's in the hardpoint.
And now you might see Kenny start to heat up. It was a slow first half. Essentially, he was at 3 and 10. Just managed to find himself a double kill in the hill. Look for him to really kind of turn things around. Again, if he's able to get those streaks, it could massively help out. But no accuracy. He was on a 4 streak. Ultimately does fall. It was a touch that shut him down. Chino could potentially work on something. Meanwhile, though, it is going to be Zuma mid-map. He finds the pick there on Chino. So pretty even game so far after that first hill rotations.
TK are definitely back into this one, but right now it's just accuracy versus Priesta. Who could carry their team more? Accuracy 16 and 10, Priesta 14 and 7. Someone's got to step up, and you really look at the SMGs. If you have your AR players that are finding success and getting kills on the map, what they're doing is they're locking down lanes, and then it's up to the SMG players to continue to push up those lanes and hold the hand of the assault rifle players so that he could push up further and further up on the map. But back to pit center as we move into the second rotation of hills here. Only a 20-point game.
And you'll see the fighter pilot actually going to be invested there from Priester. He does ultimately find 3 kills. He's going to force TK spawning way far far back of the map there. 30 seconds left on pit, so now if you're FaZe Clan, this is the best case scenario. You're going to get hill time. TK have to push you, but more importantly, you have control of the right-hand side lane. No one from TK is going to be able to push bridge. The player that's just spawned in attach, all he needs to do is watch that bottom cave, and realistically, if you're FaZe, you're set.
Yeah, and TK are just funneled through these small choke points, and they're just getting mowed down. FaZe are setting up crossfires, and there's not much TK can do. And now as we're taking a look at this upcoming second hard point, look at where TK are all positioned. They're so far pushed back finally as Kenny's able to pick up two. They could push along the bridge, but he's all alone. And look at where Chino just spawned. He couldn't be further away from the current hard point as we move over to Courtyard.
Yeah, this is what can be so tough, but that's a great opening there for TK. Kenny shuts down replays, but as you can see, FaZe do respond with a couple of kills. Kenny now with two in front of him. FaZe not going to give up spawns that easily. Essentially comes down to Chino being patient, waiting a little bit for some team support to come through. As TK, once again, just really not having the best of time here on that second hard point.
They can't do anything about Priest, though. 22-9, he's on a 3 spree, and he just made a really good play. We didn't catch it on screen, but I saw it happen on the minimap. As TK players were pushing along the bridge, he moved into the ladder room and caught the players that were spawning up over near the cave side of the map, mowed two of them down, and reforced the spawns away. FaZe now starting to build a lead, up by around 60 seconds with 20 remaining on the Courtyard. Now's the time you want to start thinking about the rotation. TK, this is going to be a very big upcoming hardpoint, and one that you can lock down for the full time. If they're able to do that, then once again, they're right back in the game.
And it's almost deja vu from the first rotation, right? FaZe managed to get a big chunk of time on Courtyard. Then it rotates, and of course, TK, they start to come back into the game. Their final two hardpoints, or hills, I should say, on Gibraltar are very good. So this one could end rather close as we go into the third rotation. But for now, it is FaZe Clan fully in control. Attach working on those streaks.
That's a huge win from Attach. Now FaZe are able to push on up, and look at number 2, Priest. They're pushing through the cave side of the map, but TK are able to answer back. They're trading kills back and forth, but FaZe, they're contested for spawns. You see them wrapping around the back turret building, just being a nuisance, staying alive, waiting for their teammates to come off respawn, and it's Zuma and Priesta both finding the kills. One player left for contention on TK. It's going to be Accuracy. The only person positive, by the way, Theory, 10 and 22. Kenny, 12 and 19. Chino, 15 and 19. Someone's got to step up on TK and help out Accuracy because they're starting to dig themselves in a very big hole.
Yeah, that was a little unfortunate. As soon as that first gunfight went down and the contest came through, Chino falls. He watches his kill cam, but sadly no one can challenge the hill quick enough. Ultimately still spawns out. FaZe Clan, they just walk straight through the front door, if you will. That is big time to pick up on Castle Road. And honestly, that just could be the final nail in this coffin, just based on how we've seen the teams play each of the hills so far.
And there you go, Zuma finds another 3-piece. You know, what it is for me, like you have Priesta, who's running AR for FaZe right now. He's finding a lot of success, and then playing off of that is Zuma. Priesta opens up the lanes, Zuma pushes out the lanes, and they're both finding success. Right now, there's no SMG player playing well right now for TK. Theory and Kenny still continuing to struggle, and this is their map pick.
Right.
They picked Gibraltar, they wanted to play it against FaZe, and they're just not showing up and slaying right now.
A little worrying, of course. You know, you talk about the slaying, replays 14 and 18, has a minute 12 hill time. He's basically just doing his job, providing good cover fire. You know, he's
that's what he
weakening up players.
You know what you're going to get from replays. You know that he's going to come into each and every game and just play his role. He'll do whatever it takes in order to get that win. As FaZe Clan, they're starting to run away with this game, Ben.
And that's the best part. When replays ultimately goes on a big streak like he is right now, a 4 streak, if he can potentially get streaks as well, oh my lord, that's what makes FaZe just kind of such a scary team. He is still on that streak, so keep your eye on the minimap. You may potentially just play pretty sneaky to see if he can just maybe get the final 5 seconds of hill time. If Chino pushes out, he spots Chino, goes for the pre-fire. Now the hardpoint's contested. This is basically for streaks, and unfortunately replays does fall. I think he may have thought or anticipated Chino to leave the hardpoint, and then he was going to steal the 100 points and get streaks that way. Sadly, it doesn't quite work out his way.
Yeah, I like the idea. Unfortunately, you don't get streaks. And now TK back within 70. So this is still very doable. It's just now you're starting to run out of time in the game. FaZe only needs 70 to close it out. TK need around 60 now to tie up the game as we're back over here at Pit Center. A couple times you're around here at TK, we're struggling to hold the high ground positioning, and especially when we came to the time to rotate to this next upcoming hardpoint, I don't think they've won a single rotation.
Yeah.
So I know that FaZe have gotten a lot of time. Somebody from TK has to sneak through, maybe push through the cave side of the map, try to smoke off the bridge side, and just do something sneaky, do something different, because what they've been throwing at FaZe just hasn't been working. Still, you have Accuracy continue to slay, and now you see Chino starting to step up, so we'll see. They got a long ways to go, but we'll see if they can do it.
I mean, TK finally get control of the hill, but they don't control the spawns, and now you can see just how far they're still spawning out. And this is
so annoying.
This has been FaZe's success, right? This is how they've won Gibraltar, essentially, being a nuisance on pit center, forcing TK spawning on the top side of the map, and just holding for full 60 on that second hardpoint every time. And the real success for them is, even when they rotated from second to third, they were still able to break and split time.
Yeah, another key there is, you know, in that rotation from first to second, like they still put up aggression over towards top bricks, right? And they forced TK to spawn so far back on the map, and it's usually one guy on FaZe doing it. Sometimes it's Zuma. There it was Attach. The other three, they're already at the next hard point. They're set up. They have early positioning. Is right now, FaZe only need 31 points to close it out. 30 seconds remaining on the Courtyard hard point. FaZe, they don't really have to push this if they want. They could just invest this time into a setup as we're about to move over to the Castle Road hard point.
Yeah, you'd be surprised now to see FaZe even attempt at pushing this. 20 seconds left. So for TK, this is all about just having someone sneak through, and it could come right here in the form of Kenny. Kenny has got behind enemy lines, and now it all comes down to, can you time this pinch perfectly? Because you can completely disrupt the setup that FaZe have. FaZe have no idea Kenny's here. The problem is he can't give away too much time.
I think he's got to be active. I don't think you have time to play with to just lay in the back and contest. He spots the shadow, can't pick up the kill. That's a huge engagement win from replays. It's now it's going to force TK to spawn further and further away from the hard point. Accuracy trying to push up towards top bricks. He's able to find two, but take a look at the minimap. Look at how close FaZe are spawning to the hard point. It's almost like those kills don't really matter as much because the reinforcements are so quick.
Well, Kenny, in theory, spring into life. Can they contest the hard point? And that's the question. Replays is still going to be there. Goes for the bayonet stab to the back of Kenny. Ultimately falls. FaZe still spawning in. TK having to force all the way over the bridge. They really don't have any other option at this point, with FaZe just needing 10 more points to win.
Now if you're TK, you're in a situation where time winding down, and that might do it as you see them spawning out, but it's like you have to win the rotation to the next hard point. You can't allow FaZe to get any scrap time. It's a near impossible situation for TK, but they're doing it. They pick up the players of FaZe inside the hard point. FaZe only need 2 more seconds, and TK have to contest. They have to deny the rest of the scrap time.
And that's just great counter nades there from FaZe, right? TK invest their nades first. FaZe come off spawn. They have the nades. TK don't. FaZe just simply able to out-trade. And a fantastic map there from pretty much everyone on FaZe. Attaching
they all pitch in.
38 kills, Zoomer 35 kills, Priest 34 kills, Replays even at 26 and 25 as well with a minute 17 hill time. I mean, that's almost the perfect game you want out of FaZe.
I always love talking about the dynamic you have in-game between your AR and SMG players, and that's a great example of it right there from FaZe Clan. Early on, it was Priester, right? The AR opens up the lanes for the SMGs to push through, and once you have Attach and Zuma, they were able to find the rhythm. They were able to bring that aggression to TK, and they found a lot of success. On the other side, talking about TK a bit more, where were their SMGs?
Yeah.
Kenny struggled early on, as well as Theory. You know, Chino stepped it up towards the end. Accuracy was the only shining light there, but he can't do it all. It's a team game.
Yeah, you definitely need some help, that's for sure. And you mentioned a bit of a slow start, really, there from a couple of the TK players does not help things. But FaZe, they look absolutely fantastic there. And you brought up a valuable point. That was TK's map pick, right? We mentioned, obviously, Valkyrie is a game 4. Well, that's very, very scary for TK going in, knowing they lost that first hard point.
Yeah, and, you know, map 3 as well, that Ardennes for CTF. It's like, you know, TK, because they don't really play Flak Tower too much, right? It's one of their vetoes. It's like, actually, they don't play London Docks. They always veto London Docks, so it's up to the other team. And, you know, you watch a lot of film. Most of the series that TK play, like, they only play Ardennes for CTF, so it's super easy to get film on them and know exactly what they're doing.
And even when they were winning championships, right, when they went back to back, CTF was kind of that weak link, right?
Yeah.
It was never really their strongest game. You looked at their search and destroy clutches and their hardpoint clutches as well, some of the crazy things they were able to do. CTF was always kind of that weak point. And now you're kind of in a position knowing that Valk hardpoint is game 4, and we fully expect FaZe to just kind of storm that map. You have to win that CTF.
Sure, but we're not here. We're not doubting TK, right? You know, the pressure's now on them. They have to rise to our expectations here. And, you know, sometimes teams play when they have that sense of urgency, when they have that feeling that, you know, everything's on the line. And for TK, it very well might be here. Because of that loss to Unilat early on in the tournament, now if you're looking ahead, you're trying to advance to that winner's bracket, this is a near must-win match for them.
I mean, it really is, right? You finished day 1 at 1 and 2 in pools. Unilad could well finish 2 and 1 as well. Like, there's a very real possibility here that you don't actually even make it into the winner's bracket. You could go straight down into the loser's bracket. Of course, bit of speculation. There's still plenty of games to be played.
Plus, we still have the open bracket team that will come in.
But you just don't want to put yourself in that position.
Yeah.
If you can avoid it, you want to end today with the best possible record, of course. And, you know, for TK, as you mentioned, coming into this one at 1 and 1, an upset against FaZe would be really important for them, I think it's fair to say. But of course, game 2, Ardennes Forest Search and Destroy. This is a map which TK felt so comfortable on for such a long time, and then finally it felt as if teams just kind of said, all right, well, we know what you're going to do. There's so much VOD now. We'll start pre-nating their spots. Like, we know where each individual player is going to play. So ultimately, you know, if you're TK, I hope you change some stuff up.
I mean, look, that's what happens when you go undefeated on a map, you know, for a couple of events, right? They're like, other teams look at like, how do we play Ardennes for Search and Destroy? Let's go watch TK, and then you wind up learning everything that they do. You learn their tendencies, where they like to push up on the map. So they've had to constantly change. And, you know, from what I've seen from TK, like, they don't really do like a lot of mid pushes on Forest Search anymore. Like, where you have like the double smoke off that mid pillar, smoke off that mid tank, collapse onto that A bomb site. want to see them evolve, and I want to see them bring more to the table here, because this is a big map for them to win. We already talked about, you know, their forced CTF. We're not the biggest fans of it, but they're certainly capable of winning it against FaZe. But for me, this is a huge map for TK to win.
Yeah, most definitely is. Of course, it was a FaZe clan pick as well. Bear that in mind. So they're obviously coming in here feeling very, very confident indeed. But game 2, Ardennes Forest Search and Destroy about to get underway. Of course, it is FaZe clan with the 1-0 advantage here in the series as TK look to tie things up and potentially go back to Ardennes Forest in that Game 3 CTF and try and take the lead here, but we'll kick things off on board with accuracy. It is going to be TK on the defensive side. And, well, that's not enough to kill Attach, that's for sure.
Yeah, a bit of a weird mantle from Attach, I think, threw off accuracy, but Chino's there for the trade. So 3-on-3 early on. You see the bomb now rotating over for FaZe clan as they're just trying to assess the situation. They know that they put up some aggression on mid. TK also, you have a flank possibility from Kenny if he decides to push through, but as Chino finds Zuma, Priest is there to get the trade down to a 2v2. Priest in replays versus Kenny in theory.
This could be pretty good here for Priester. Of course, he has bomb in hand. You have TK completely split, right? You have one player on A, one player on B. Now replay's going to be left. Has all the information he needs to potentially try and clutch up, but TK not going to let it happen. Good hold there in round 1.
Yeah, and TK had played Ardennes Forest Search earlier in the tournament. I believe it was up against Vitality. I think I saw Chino get a nasty 1v3 clutch.
It was disgusting.
So they already have some event experience here at Birmingham. See if they can continue to follow up. Good defensive round from them in round 1, just countering the aggression. You know, FaZe decided to push right through the middle of the map, and Priest found himself last one alive. He knew that the players were split, decided to commit on to Kenny, but Kenny had high ground cover, easy engagement for him to win, as that's going to be TK. Let's see what they bring to the table here on offense.
Well, Theory, of course, he's going to be your designated bomb carrier. And it looks like he's making his way over towards that B site, but First Blood comes in for replays. It's a nade onto Chino. However, there is Theory, able to put the number advantage back in towards TK.
That was a good smoke from Kenny. So he throws that off spawn, and he smokes off that line of sight, like right in front of the B-side ruins on the defensive end. So TK, it's easy for them to then coordinate, you know, nades behind the bomb and then focus that player up on top pillars. But back into this round, once again, all up to Priest. This time it's a 1v3 for him. Bomb should get planted here for TK. Easy peasy. You got Kenny and Theory. Finally, we're seeing some presence in this series. 2-0, both of them, both on 2 streaks, as they're working towards some score streaks of their own. Well, Kenny dies, so he won't get any.
Priest up, now 1v2. 35 seconds. Theory and accuracy still up. Gonna spot accuracy up top now. Information, of course, given. He knows Theory's gonna be on the bomb, but not gonna be able to clutch up.
Yeah, I mean, look, TK have all the positioning in the world. If accuracy gets tagged, all he has to do is go prone. You got Theory right behind you, behind the bomb. He's got great cover as well. Pretty straightforward round from TK. It all starts with that smoke grenade from Kenny. They decide to all out rush that B bomb site. They find the early kills, isolating players over at that B bomb site. Once they get the man advantage, objective goes down, post-plant positioning. Simple win from there.
And it's rounds like that which was what made TK so good at Ardennes Forest.
Yeah.
You know, you look at your first event, second event, and obviously still now, right? Decisive, quick pushes. They know exactly what they're doing. It's the intent that you see. The bomb goes down, and all of a sudden, Priest let the 1v3. So TK 2-0 up. FaZe now back on the attacking side. We'll see a very fast B push potentially come out, but Zuma's going to get tagged up. Kenny going to be playing up top. The nade comes out, but Kenny's already managed to find a First Blood.
But good trade from Zuma. He throws the nade attach, weakens up Kenny, so the trade is there, and it's effective. And what we've been seeing from FaZe is they wanted to be quick onto that B bomb site, but TK had counter nades of their own, and Theory playing behind the pillar, he's able to find one. Just trying to work around as will get cleaned up, but it's all down to Zuma. 1v2 versus Chino, and actually unable to make it happen. 3 rounds played means 3 rounds won for TK.
I feel like Chino just probably got one of the easiest kills he's ever going to get there. Replay's just trying to go for the quick flank, and Chino kind of read it like a book. He finds Zuma as well for the double kill bronze star, but a nice read there coming in from Chino as TK now with a big advantage here in the Search and Destroy 3-0 lead.
Chino's having fun on this map, man. I feel like we always see highlight reel plays. We were talking about it a bit earlier. He had that 1v3 against Vitality, and now he's having a great game here. 4-2, Theory right next to him, 4-1 to back him up. But moving into round 4, it's going to be TK back on offense. Last time they did a quick B bomb site hit. Looks like it's going to be some of the same story here.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You see the push come in. Very similar to what we saw the last round. This time, though, Zuma very aggressive himself. That's a double. Zuma finds 3. Can Zuma find the ace? Challenges Chino, and I believe he did actually just connect with that as well. Zuma takes matters into his own hands there in round 4.
Big difference there is the grenades from TK just don't connect. You know, they don't isolate the players. They don't double nade the bomb. They don't double nade the player on the platform. And I think the player on the platform is probably the high priority target, right? You want to get that guy off the high ground. He could be such a nuisance, so hard to take him down. But they just don't connect with the grenades. The players from FaZe stay alive, and then they answer right back.
Fantastic round from Zuma and FaZe, of course. They find their first round on the board here in Ardennes Forest, search and destroy, but it's still TK with the advantage. 3-1 as FaZe now go on the attacking side. And they're going to give Zuma the bump simply because he is going to get close to those streaks. So Plant only going to help things out. Replays mid-map. Just going to eat that nade. Priest already trying to be aggressive over towards the B site, and a little bit of bait as well here for Zuma. If Zuma's able to try and trade out any of those kills, it could be massive, but now unfortunately left in a 2v4, and Zuma's going to have to play the slow.
Okay, man advantage for TK. Usually pretty good in these situations as they just need to hold their ground. One player on the high ground is going to be Kenny taking down Zuma. All up to replays. 1v4 down to a 1v3. Tough situation for him. Theory, no need to challenge this, right? You got teammate support behind you. Just bait with him. Keep replays solid and you know, over towards back bell. You have a player mid-map. Yeah, keep him trapped. He can't move.
Yeah, Chino should be able to pick up this kill every day of the week. Replay's going to go for the wide peak spots. Chino.
Yeah, good luck.
It's just almost an impossible gunfight, and now you're going to get pushed from Bell side as well. TK with license to be maybe a little bit more aggressive, but actually, yeah, Replace has done well here to stay alive.
Yeah, I mean, he's a smart player. He's got good game sense, and of course, as soon as he turns away, that's the moment that Theory decides to push on through. So TK able to rebound. They're looking good, and it was funny. I was looking at the first bloods going into round number 4. FaZe had 3 of the 4 first bloods at that moment in time, but now it's going to be TK. They're able to get some of their own early man advantage, and they just work the trades from there.
And it was worth mentioning that was a little unfortunate positioning there from Zuma. I think you could maybe question him kind of diving across towards that pillar. It's a 2v4. Ideally, you would have loved him to be in the position.
It's just that player up top is so annoying. Right. He feels committed to that fight. You know, you're already pushing out through the side entrance of Bell.
Almost feel like he got a little bit baited because that player up top for TK shot a couple of bullets, and then
you got a guy at the pillar. Yeah,
you just get challenged. So smart stuff coming out from Team Kaliber. Zuma though answers with the first blood again here in round 6, but TK with the advantage still.
Picks up the kill mid map, and what does he do? He pushes right through the lane. TK are getting flanked, and they have no idea what's going on. It's all down to 2 players. Make it just 1. Kenny, a 1v3 for him. Picks up the flanking player, goes for the trade, but it's the machine pistol. FaZe are able to clean it up as they answer right back 4-2.
And as soon as they start playing at that fast pace, the game kind of spirals a little bit out of control. The round spiral out of control for TK. They can't respond. That's the key, right? So realistically, if you're TK now, maybe pull out some stuns. Try and stun rush, make sure that Zuma, and you just can't get those.
It's really Zuma.
It is.
Find a way to slow down Zuma, but look, in that round, every B push that TK have brought out here on this map, they've sent 3 around Bell, and they sent 1 guy mid-map. FaZe, I think, caught on to that. You know, Zuma picks up that first blood mid-map, knows that there's going to be no one there, immediately goes for the pinch, and then at that point, TK, you feel trapped over at Bell. You feel like you don't have any area to work with.
Zuma sitting at a 7-5 stat line. Had a good search so far. Player directly in front of him. That's going to be Theory that drops and somehow gets out with his life as well. Really, Zuma taking over this game.
We haven't seen a lot of action over near the A-bomb site.
Well, the first round where Priester was over there, but then backtracked all the way back over towards B. Like, that was really the only one. And speaking of, Priester has the bomb, and well, it looks like it's going to be a plant over at B.
Okay, Attach is going to push through the ruins. Is able to spot 1, maybe 2. So that's key information gained for FaZe. And Attach, what do? Just go up to the high ground. Great position to have here. Just your head is on a swivel here. Just look around. If you take some damage, all you do is immediately go prone and rely on the cover that you have around you. But Chino's able to find Priesta. It's all down to Attach. They know he's up top. Kenny takes some shots, re-challenges, works with Chino. Perfect retake done there by TK. I think FaZe were probably a little too anti and a bit too aggressive.
Yeah, fantastic. Chino recognizing as soon as Kenny's in that gunfight, I have to challenge this as well. Even if he just gets a bullet, he's going to distract if nothing else. Of course, they figure out who's closer to streaks. That player is going to grab the defuse, and TK just kind of put an immediate stop to any potential FaZe momentum.
Just to show you the difference between both these teams, when TK were in that exact same position, you know, you had 1 player up top and you had Theory behind the bomb site, right? I think it was Accuracy and Theory. For FaZe, like, you have a guy pushed up in ruins watching, you know, the defending team come try to push through their spawn, and then you have Attach who's up on the platform. Platform's great, but he can't really help out that guy inside ruins. He can't get that line of sight. He gets isolated, and TK get the retake from there.
Oh, replays with the first blood. Attach follows that through, so Kenny's down and out for the count. TK in a 2v4, but make that a 2v2. Theory and Accuracy both get quick picks. Now it's going to be Priesta and replays for FaZe, still alive. Bear in mind, Theory with bomb in hand here. TK, I mean, this looked like it was going to be a terrible round for them, but they could well close out the search here.
I feel like we've seen so many 2v2s happen over at this B bomb site. Nice shots from Priesta. He's able to tag up Accuracy on top. They can commit here knowing that Accuracy's weak. The bomb should get planted here by Theory. Priesta once again peeking around. He's going to try to work with replays as they attempt the retake.
Accuracy so...
And it's the same setup I was just talking about, right?
It's identical. Absolutely identical. And TK ultimately win it, although you might not be able to tell from the look of Gino's face. More of a very casual fist bump. Like, good job, boys. Business as usual in Ardennes Forest. Search and destroy. A wonderful map there from TK. They take it very, very convincingly. Of course, 6-2 fashion. And that sets us up for a pretty interesting CTF.
Yeah, that, like I said, going into this one, it was a big map for TK to win. You know, losing that hard point on Gibraltar, and especially getting a good game out of Kenya as well. You know, everybody pitching in. Theory winds up going, what, like 9-4? And, you know, early on, you felt like it was Gino, the ARs, you know, stepping up the play for TK. But the subs here, they come. Theory and Kenny, well done. So the series all tied up, one map apiece.
Yeah, fantastic stuff there from TK, as we mentioned. But really, that Game 3 CTF now is going to be where all of the action could be won or lost, because we mentioned Game 4, that Falc hard point. Well, we're not expecting TK to take that, let's be honest. So for a potential Game 5, it's going to have to come down to whether TK can potentially win the Game 3 CTF. But it all started in Gibraltar. Hardpoint FaZe Clan just took it to Team Kaliber. Really, no response from them. They look absolutely fantastic, Remy.
Yeah, I feel like the big story here was just the rotations for FaZe were on point. You know, going from like first to second, for example, they were always holding the correct side of the map. Right. They were putting on good aggression, and TK, it just felt like they never had the spawns under their control. Like they rarely had favorable spawns, and FaZe were able to work the system. I mean, look, going into this one, I thought that the assault rifle players from TK were just going to take over, and early on it was looking like that. It was accuracy versus Priesta, but Priesta does a great job. He gets some help from his submachine guns as well. Once he's able to hold down those lanes, Attach and Zuma just non-stop aggression, pushing lane through lane. They start to heat up, and they just pin TK in the back of the map.
Yeah, it was from the very first hard point to what, rotation number 3, from pit to second hill. They just were not able to break through nor control the spawns. So FaZe Clan comfortably take Game 1, hard point on Gibraltar. Then, of course, you go over to Game 2, the search and destroy. Team Kaliber look like back to their winning ways in Ardennes Forest now, 2-0 on that map and game combination here in Birmingham.
All right. Taking a look at some of the highlights. Theory 4-0 on a 4-3 at this point in the game, and I just thought they had great B bomb site executions. They had good post plant positioning as well, and you know that was one key round from FaZe when they lost. So you remember it was the 2v2 at the B bomb site. One player pushes up towards ruins. It was Attached left all alone, and he just gets double teamed. As he couldn't really help his team. He had no line of sight. Like, you can't shoot through walls like that. I felt like TK, when they were in those positions, player behind bomb, player up top on the platform. Simple, great post-plant positioning, easy crossfire to have, and you have a lot of positioning, a lot of cover to work with.
Well, TK, FaZe, all tied up, one map apiece. When we return, it's CTF and Ardennes Forest. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CWL Birmingham Open presented by PlayStation 4. Benson and Redmond bringing you all of the action for this game up on the main stage. And so far, so good in terms of the quality. Of course, we're all tied up 1-1. And this Game 3 CTF, obviously, we talked about it before the commercial break, Redmond, but this really is going to be the key for the rest of the series.
Yeah, sometimes it's just a hit or miss map for Team Kaliber. We've seen them win some clutched up games, and we've seen them get blown out. So not too sure what to expect from them going into this next map, but we know that FaZe are a very talented CTF team, and I think that what makes them so good at this game mode is that they're just very disciplined, and I think a lot of that comes to the fact that you have replays as the in-game leader. I mean, world champion, as well as two of his other teammates, but he knows this game mode inside and out. He knows how to direct his teammates around the map and how to cover all the lanes as well as counting players. He's got years and years of experience on this mode.
Most definitely does. Of course, you mentioned often gets a little bit of flack for his stat line, but the leadership he brings in CTF
intangible
and just in general really is very, very valuable. And it is such a patient team at times, right? You often think about FaZe and you think about just how fast-paced they are. Well, they can kind of get away with it because they often have replays playing a little bit slower, right? He allows his sub-players to be that aggressive. And
Priest as well. He could switch it up at times depending on what's needed. The reason why he's one of the better flex players we have in the CWL right now.
Fantastic individual, that's for sure. But on the flip side, of course, for TK, you mentioned it, in Arden Forest, we've seen them take a few CTFs. We've also seen them struggle a couple of times, but this is how the series stands currently. Game 1 went to FaZe, Game 2 to TK. The reason that we're emphasizing again how important this Arden Forest is because Valkyrie Hardpoint is Game 4. I think we all expect FaZe Clan to take it. Obviously, you heard Maven on the analyst desk before say, well, Game 3, there's no way TK take Game 3. That has FaZe written all over it. So,
hey, man, you never know when TK Magic's going to come to play.
Does it come into play right now, Revan, do you think?
Possibly.
Possibly.
Who knows? I think sure. FaZe might be slightly favored going into this matchup, but you know, TK, where there's a will, there's a way, and somehow they always find a way.
That is very, very true. Of course, they currently sit 1-1 in pools after a little bit of a shock defeat to Unilateral, or a shock for them, that is, earlier on in the day. So this is a big game with implications for the pools. And FaZe Clan, we mentioned how good they are on this map, and I actually want to send it to an Astro Gaming listening with FaZe Clan to kick things off in the CTF.
Pushing army, dead.
Yeah, got me.
I'll got one left. I'll push you with you.
Watch out! Dead.
Yo, let's two. First hard point. Chino. Last guy's first hard point.
He backed up. Okay, he's gonna go cabin. Going cabin.
Push cabin. We gotta kill Chino.
Chino. He's on 2. Chino's on 2.
I'm gonna
Go left.
I'm going left.
Yo, there's 2 left.
Left. I need
I'm
it.
standing left. I try to stand my left.
Close to him top.
I stand my left. One's mid alley. Mid-alley. Chino. Chino. Back up.
He's pushing.
You probably need. You should go shoot.
He ran
Hold this.
You have him trapped.
He's weak.
Yeah, I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna hit the top bridge.
Oh, he got me top.
No.
He's going to ramp to dome right here. Alright. 2 left.
Two there. There's two there, guys. One's going around mid alley. Goes around mid alley to cabin alley.
Fire tank.
One's fire tank.
He's dead.
Yeah, you got me. Kenny, top left.
Fire tank. One shot.
One fire tank. Yeah, I'm going left. Alright,
let's go. Just on middle. You got middle when you spawn. I'm helping left.
Got middle.
Pushing dome.
Alright, let's go. We got. Dome dead.
Nice, good one. One by pipe.
Kenny's got streaks.
One size, guys. He's cabin.
I'm looking middle. Are you middle?
No, cabin alley now. Cabin's done.
No, cabin.
No, yeah, he's done. He's a cabin wall.
Play the bunker, Dill.
Cabin wall, accuracy's cabin.
It's up behind him. Look behind him. He's at cabin rock. He's on cabin wall.
He got me.
Alright,
Let's go. We gotta kill accuracy.
we have to kill accuracy. He's on a 3. Kenny has streaks. I'm putting out mountain.
Let's go. Yeah, I'm gonna pull him out next.
One's back dome.
Yeah, I'm going left. Alright, help him left.
Yeah, 1 2. I think there's 3. There's 3 left.
There's 3 left. I only saw 2, but there could be 3.
He's laying down ice there.
There's 2 there.
Well, a good insight there to FaZe Clan's communication. Of course, you heard replay say Kenny has streaks, pull out mountain. Attach kind of confirms that as well. But it was a wonderful flag run from Kenny specifically there for TK.
He's a wizard.
1-0 up. He's an absolute wizard. You're completely right. Get streaks as well. So TK with the advantage, and note as well, Theory with a flag, trying to see if he can put TK 2-0 up. Replay's now going to go for the counter pull.
Okay, streak does get called in. Glad Bomb connects onto Zuma, so that's going to open up the overextension for these players. As keep in mind, that flag is also down, so the TK players spawn up, they re-pick up the flag. Now on the overextension, those are 2 big kills from Prisa, because that's going to put more pressure onto TK spawns, and it opens up room. And now TK feel uncomfortable about rotating back to their flag, because Theory does pick up Prisa, so now they're able to push on back, and we're now in a stalemate.
Yep, that kill from Theory just allows TK to really push out. I'm not too worried about anyone being bunker's side, but Attach is going to be the first player from FaZe to start making his way up top. Meanwhile, Zuma's going to fall. Kenny's
crying.
Kenny has the flag as well. Note that again. So he may actually put himself in a position here where he could overlap streaks. He may actually be kind of forced to use another streak. Obviously, we saw him use one already, but if he's able to find a second streak here and overlap, that could be massive. And now would be a time to do it if he is going to bother, because with that pressure coming through from a Thatcher bunker side, you want to make sure you pick up those kills quickly, but it seems like he's more than happy to just settle. His teammates, of course, coming off spawn, but they're losing the gunfights again. This could be a tough spot.
Well, the thing is, Priestess decides to push all the way through ruins. He goes over towards the back bell, so when the TK players come off respawn, they spawn right on top of Kenny, the flag carrier. So the players who are pushing through bunker on the FaZe side, they're now met with a lot of reinforcements. Zuma does get traded out there, but Kenny finds himself in the same situation that Octane was in earlier, right? In that setup. So he could use his streaks to help his teammates get the return on the other side of the map, but now it's finally about time that TK feel comfortable on the map. They can start to push out. They have all the players accounted for. They're just trying to push out the lanes and make sure no one could sneak through.
And again, minute left. They're 1-0 up. They don't really have to force anything too crazy. Let FaZe make a couple of mistakes and then try and play around that. Attached mid-map, he should fall very soon to Chino. The trade comes through, and now you got yourself a 2v2 momentarily. Chino still trying to put up some pressure on the map. Doesn't want to allow Priest to really push through unattested, but it looks as if Priest is just going to do that.
And in this situation, when you're TK and you have streaks, and not only that, you know that FaZe are putting on Mountain, I would stack stuns. You know that they're probably going to be running like Mountain Hunker.
Just like that?
They can do nothing against the stun. It's almost like a free kill. Slows them down. Not only that, it gets them super annoyed. Believe me, nobody likes getting stunned.
Oh, it's very frustrating. That is for sure. And then the second you realize that they change your class, then you pull out your streaks, and Zuma ultimately does fall. Now can the flag get returned? The key 1v1 is going to be won by Accuracy. Shuts down Priester. Can he now get the return as well? He's pretty weak, but gets the jump. 2-0 TK in the first half. A wonderful performance from them.
And this has not done yet. Accuracy gets the pull. If it stays off the peg, keep in mind, FaZe don't go for the return, so they're going to force some extra time here on this first half. Now, I want to switch over to, can we switch over to Kenny real quick? I wonder if he was able to overlap some streaks. Okay, so he's working towards another set of that mortar strike. He's only 50 points away. And both flags are at home, so the half is going to end.
Yep, and Kenny's going to be happy with that. Still
Absolutely.
2 streaks, a kill away from full streaks out. Like, beautiful, beautiful performance from TK, and you finish the first half 2-0 up. Wonderful stuff from them on a map, which, we kind of all considered that FaZe came in favorites.
But look, we've seen this before from TK, where they've come out, had a strong start to side one, and then side two comes around, and it falls apart. Big thing here, I think you just stack stuns early on and make sure that you win those initial engagements. Win the break off, you could really set the tone here. But we've also seen the flip side, where TK would start off down, and then they'd make a miraculous comeback. Right now, though, shining light, definitely Kenny. The SMGs came out to play here. 12-3, has both flag caps as well for TK. Let's see what they can do off the start of the second half.
And curious to see whether FaZe do kind of change their division loadout, and ultimately that could be a good indication for when we'll see Kenny use those streaks. Very already though, straight off the bat. All right, they'll go for it almost.
That's
managed to
unfortunate.
turn and burn, but 2 players fall for TK, and this could be an opening early on here for FaZe.
Yeah, I guess Kenny was pushed up far enough on that ruin side of the map that it forced the FaZe clan members to spawn back bunker as Theory's going for that flag. A little bit unfortunate, but Zuma now kicking up some offense. 3 fall for TK. Now it's going to be all up to Kenny. He does have streaks to use. This now might be a good time to use it, but the grenade picks up replays. Flag is going to get pulled once again. Priest are going to continue this run on the overextension. Accuracy takes out Theory. That's a team kill there. Kenny now coming off respawn. Does he invest the streaks here?
Honestly, with Accuracy so far pushed up in bunker, you might actually see
he can mortar strike all 3 players.
Yeah, in fact, that's going to be the glide bomb that comes in first. Has to make sure to find at least one. That's okay, because whilst that glide bomb was coming in, the flag, of course, counterpulled from Accuracy. It bought his teammates time to at least get that flag out, but Accuracy may need a little bit of support. Support comes in form of Theory, and now we have a good old-fashioned stalemate.
Yeah, and Accuracy feels so comfortable now. You got Kenny locking down mid-map, Theory putting pressure over towards bunker, and the flag carrier, he's only got 1 member to support him here as TK decides to push on forward. Theory looking around for that player that was over near bunker. Hasn't been spotted yet. Finds Zuma. Now going to commit onto the flag carrier. Can't win that engagement, but following up the push. It's going to be Kenny. 15-5 right now, by the way. He's just going to play it slow over near the cave side of the map while Chino rotates back and make sure the accuracy is completely safe.
And Kenny's now in that position where all he needs to do is stay alive, right? Just stay alive, wait for a teammate to potentially push up and give some support. And look at this. It's such a sneaky spot. This is honestly one of the most sneaky spots in Arden Forest. Beautiful play from Kenny. Now he may not even have to put a streak in. Replays thinks that side of the map is clear, and Priester, well, sorry, pal. Kenny just has a 500 IQ. That's a flag return and a flag cap. TK 3-0 up, and Kenny, he's looking at a spawn trap.
Yeah, I mean, FaZe, they actually spawn out like towards the front bunker side of the map. Kenny, I don't think he was anticipating that, but still, you get the flag cap at the end of the day. Such a smart play from Kenny. You know, not a lot of players would make that play, just letting somebody voluntarily sneak by like that. But look, it winds up paying off, and Kenny still with streaks to use.
It's a great spot for search and destroy too.
Right?
Yeah, you can have full cover of the bomb site. But Kenny, just playing well, for lack of better words, right? 17 and 6. 2 flag caps, gets a return as well to give him the third.
Nice
really
shot.
Wonderful stuff from him. And FaZe Clan with 2.5 minutes left, down 3-0. They need something to happen relatively quickly now.
And it sucks because they know that there's still streaks in play for TK, so they feel forced to run Mountain, which is going to slow them down, not being able to run Airborne, and then it limits what they can do because now you can't run Armored. You can't protect yourself against the stuns. You know, it's a lose-lose situation here for FaZe. And come to this map, yeah, we were downing TK a little bit, but they came here and they're showing up. They're playing. Obviously, a big story for me still is Kenny. 18 and 7, and then Chino's here following him up. 19 and 11, currently on a 4 spree. Yeah. TK, they're in such a commanding position right now.
It's almost impossible to lose when you're in these situations, right? Time is ticking. You still have a fighter pilot at your disposal. Kenny, being an absolute nuisance, is going to turn and read Attach, but Attach still gets the pick. And Theory, again, just being a nuisance, consistently putting pressure on FaZe, and this is what you want to see from him, right? Don't slow down. Don't allow FaZe to dictate the tempo of the game. Keep applying the pressure. Even when you're 3-0 up, don't sit back. Don't
Even when he's 8 and 18.
Exactly, just keep on going. He's being a nuisance. He's forcing FaZe players off spawn to respect the TK pressure.
Exactly. You know, he may not be picking up all the kills on the map, but FaZe have to worry about him. You can't just let him keep getting flagpole after flagpole because you figure you get enough touches, eventually one of them are going to convert.
Right.
But now, a minute 15 remaining here. FaZe Clan, not looking good for them. Not a lot of time to play with here. And they're in a situation, once again, where they can't afford to rotate back, protect their base. So TK on the overextension, they could find those flagpoles. And, you know, just keep sending Theory. Look at where he is on the map. He's pushed up. He could go get another flagpole.
And this is why it's so difficult, right? Because if Theory sneaks, Kenny with a fighter pilot, Theory doesn't even need to get a kill. He just needs to touch the flag. And immediately, that's when you'll see that fighter pilot rained in from above. Like, some people would look at that and say, well, Theory's not really doing much. Well, it doesn't have to. 3-0, 45 seconds left. Theory's played that one perfectly. Chino's going to bayonet replays. And this one is GG. What is a must-win game for TK so they don't end up 1 and 2 at the end of the day. Is looking very good for them to be 2-1.
Best part is Kenny never feels pressured at all to use those streaks, so it keeps FaZe with that Mountain Division on. And look, one of the things I learned early on when I started playing Call of Duty is that there are only so many kills you could get on the map, and Theory's shown that right now. You know, even though he's not picking up all the kills, like there's still other things you could do to have an influence and have an impact on this map. And you know, the pressure, the aggression that he showed, just being a nuisance on the FaZe side of the map, definitely was something that helped TK win this map in such a convincing fashion.
Yep, FaZe not able to keep up with it, and TK are going to go ahead and take the CTF 3 flags to 0, and it's all smiles right there from Theory, as you would expect. They now go 2-1 up in the series. And again, we mentioned just how important this one is, Revan. You know, TK lose to Unilad earlier on in the day, puts them at 1-1 coming into this game. FaZe, of course, 2-0. You have a very real opportunity here if you're TK to go 2-1, but then hold the tiebreaker against FaZe because of head-to-head. Then it all comes down to what happens with Unilad. Yeah. This group could get very, very interesting come the start of tomorrow.
Yeah, all because they lost to Unilad. Now there's extra pressure on them coming into this match. I mean, if they win that match against Unilad, both teams are 2-0. Still looking good to go 1 and 2 in the groups, but
it would actually be really interesting because FaZe beat Unilad earlier on in the day as well. So all 3 of those teams, it could come down to map count potentially.
All right, well, we'll see how it gets. It seems like all these groups now, there's so many crazy scenarios that could happen. Plus, we haven't even finished the open bracket yet. Who knows what team is going to get placed where? A lot of action still to come here.
It's worth mentioning the open bracket has been very loud.
Yeah,
very loud.
I've seen huge crowds over at the open bracket. We got some solid teams over there. I wouldn't be surprised if one of them make a run here.
Could potentially happen. Of course, we'll know our open bracket teams early tomorrow morning as they filter into pool play, and then of course and championship bracket at the end of tomorrow as well. But one thing's for sure, this series not disappointing whatsoever. TK taking that CTF keep things interesting, but we should talk a little bit about that game 4, the Valk hardpoint. This is a map where we do really expect FaZe to come out and crush on.
If Kenny shoots like he was during that CTF, I think that's going to be it's going to be a tough match for FaZe. I mean, look. Over the course of like the past couple weeks, yeah, FaZe have been the better team. You know, their subs have turned up, and it's going to be tough for TK to stop the aggression. We'll see if they can make it happen. We doubted them going into that CTF. We're doubting them going into this hard point. They just have a knack for proving everyone wrong.
Very true, of course. This was mentioning FaZe, the #1 squad from their division, Division B. So going in here, feeling very confident, and that's for sure. But when it came to that CTF, well, TK shut them down, and quite emphatic style, to be completely honest with you. It never really looked for a moment like FaZe really had control. Even the stalemate situations, TK played him almost flawlessly.
Yeah, just playing safe, right? They don't do anything fancy. They don't try to do, like, force any plays that happen on the other side of the map. I want to talk a bit about that first flag run from Kenny, because that was absolutely amazing. While we were doing the listening with FaZe, we heard it attached, telling Priest to go challenge the flag carrier, nade and challenge. Kenny crosses towards the back of the FaZe base because he knows that they're going to be rotating back from cabin, and they have that line of sight under the bridge. So he pushes through, and then he actually climbs up on the bridge, challenges Priesta, wins that engagement, gets away with the flag. His teammates get the cutoffs. They lock down mid-map. They lock down his back at Ruins, and that really set the tone for the rest of the map.
I mean, it most definitely did. He gets his streaks. He's able to use those streaks to earn more streaks as well later on in the game. And it was that consistent pain that FaZe had to deal with while he has streaks. He can use these streaks at any time. You brought it up a couple of times. You know, they're forced to use mountain, the stuns, the nades. They're so effective when you don't have armored on. And TK, beautiful, beautiful game 3, that's for sure. But as we mentioned, game 4, Hardpoint Valkyrie. FaZe back against the wall now, otherwise we very well could have some pretty interesting tiebreaker scenarios coming in from this group.
Yeah, and just speaking about this FaZe squad a little bit more, they're just so well-rounded. Like, there's a reason why so many people are fans of this team and why they've had so much success. I mean, going to this Valkyrie Hardpoint, we talk about being such a SMG-heavy map, and then you look at the players on FaZe, not only do you have 2 superstar SMG players in Attach and Zuma, you have Priesta, who's a very good flex player, and then Replays on this map, like, he doesn't have to run an assault rifle. He could go back to his traditional roots as an SMG guy and still bring the aggression to this map, whereas on the side of TK, you know, sometimes from map to map, we'll see, you know, maybe Chino will be the flex player. Then next week, it's going to be Accuracy being the flex player. I think for them to become a contender once again, they just got to figure out that roles and just iron it out. And when we talk about, you know, developing that map pool and having a deeper pool, being able to be competent on a map like Valkyrie is so key in the current state of Call of Duty.
Especially considering how many teams are actually picking it now as well, right? It really has become one of those maps where a lot of teams feel extremely comfortable on it. They love playing it. They understand the map very, very well, and that's why you see it come into our rotation so often. For FaZe, it has been a map they look pretty good on, to be completely honest with you. And for TK now, this could be a really big test. If they're able to take this 3-1, I mean, that is a
huge
fantastic result. Massive, massive win. As you mentioned, FaZe coming off, you know, Division B, first place. You know, like, this is a team who really are coming to Birmingham very, very hot. They're like almost the team to beat, if you will, outside of maybe Rise Nation. But we'll see.
Look, if you're TK, there's no better way to end day 1 than a win over FaZe Clan, coming off a loss against Unilad. And here we go, Valkyrie Hardpoint, map number 4, FaZe versus Team Kaliber. TK looking to close it out right here, right now. Let's see what FaZe can do to stop that from happening and force the game 5.
Well, we'll hope for that game 5. USS Texas, of course, will be the map if it goes that distance, just because we love a good old-fashioned game 5. That's
especially on Texas, dude.
Oh, Texas makes things very, very interesting. That's 100%. But we'll kick things up on board with Theory, already halfway through towards his streaks on the first hill, and decides to potentially maybe try and challenge, see if he can get one of his teammates baiting a little bit closer towards those streaks.
Okay, so who were, I forgot what team we were just watching. Oh man, all these games just kind of blur one after another. But look, on this Vents Hardpoint, you want to control that top side of the map. You know, the next upcoming one is going to be over towards the operations bunker as Kenny pushes right on through. Can't pick up the kill. That's a clean 4 down, 14 Kaliber. FaZe now can push in, get the remaining time on this Hardpoint, and start to set up for the second one.
LG Red Reserve.
Yeah, thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
LG put on an absolute clinic, and you know, a part of that is due to just how aggressive John is, right? And you have a player in the sense of Zuma and Attach here who can play that very similar kind of style. Such hyper-aggressive submachine guns. But Kenny, I mean, well, we all know what he can do with the sub, that's for sure. If you don't, well, where have you been this season? Fantastic individual. And early on, it is going to be FaZe Clan who have the advantage, 35-16, but still plenty of time left on bunker for TK to try and break through.
That's a big kill for Zuma to get onto Theory as Theory is trying to play towards the top side of the map, get spawns in favor for his team. As now with 35 seconds remaining, you got 1, maybe 2 more pushes for TK before you start to commit to the upcoming hard point. Now come around the flank, Replays, he's going to find all these players. TK find kills as they start to line up. He finds one, immediately traded out.
Key player, it's going to be Attach. 5 streak inside the hill. Already has 2 streaks. Can he find the third? 1 more kill order. Do it. Challenges. Teammate gets the pick. Pulls out the machine pistol. And there it is. Fully streaked out is Attach. Artillery barrage ready to use. Tries to go for the wallbang on Theory, but, well, doesn't even need to go for the wallbang. A wonderful hill there from Attach. It's worth noting the position that you saw Replays put himself in, right? He's damaging the opponents. May not necessarily get the kills, but weakens them up enough where Attach can easily clean them up.
Yep, exactly that. Now moving into the storage bunker hardpoint, TK to lost spawns early on. It's only Kenny here trying to hold position. You see his teammates spawning up, trying to push through the smokestacks, trying to control over near front storage, but FaZe are just picking up the kills left, right, and center. I mean, look at the slang that FaZe are bringing to the table. You already spoke about attached 10 and 3. He's continuing to find success. Not only that, he's got the most time inside the hardpoint, so all of his interactions are having an impact on the game.
Yeah, massive impact, that's for sure. And we mentioned he has streaks as well. So when we head over towards smokestacks, more than likely you may see him call something in, or maybe even off rotation. We'll wait and see, but it's going to be Theory now for TK, trying to get a little sneaky as he wraps around, tries to set up a pinch. Unfortunately, accuracy will fall, but Theory could pick up the scrap time, wins the first gunfight, and I'm curious to see if anyone from FaZe actually even wants to try and play for it. There's going to be one player in the form of Attach who does go back for it, but Theory wins that. So TK, they do get a little bit of scrap.
Yeah, it's a nice 20 seconds to get. Granted, they only have 22 total seconds. They're down by 80 points right now, so they face a bit of a deficit. Still possible to come back in this game. Not over by any means just yet, but they got to start racking up some time inside the hardpoint. When I've seen TK perform the best in hardpoints is when you have your assault rifle player soaking up time, right? Accuracy always performs well inside the hardpoint. In fact, if I remember looking at the stats, he was like second or third maybe in terms of total hardpoint time. So put him inside the hardpoint, he's going to find success one way or another, and just find a way. Someone step up, start slaying. Kenny right now falling a little bit behind, 8 and 12, so not able to repeat that stellar performance he had in this previous CTF.
Well, that's a good start right there.
There you go.
Accuracy gets a double. Theory picks up one as well. Hill control back over to TK as they look to chip away at the early FaZe Clan lead. Theory traded out, and it's going to be Attach that picks up a double. And instantly FaZe Clan just breaks straight through. And you look at the submachine gun players from FaZe Clan, you got what? Attach 16 and 5, Zoomer at 13 and 11. Both of them just having a wonderful, wonderful game.
Yeah, and Replay's just doing his job as always. 8 and 8, not a lot of interactions, just playing for spawns, putting his teammates in the right position so that they can just constantly flood. I mean, how comfortable do you feel if you're attaching Zoom and you never have to worry about controlling the spawns? All you got to do is sprint, go into the hard point and get interactions. Jump back to the game, though. Turley Barrage will get called in by Attach as FaZe did lose some initial positioning there, so just keeping TK away from getting the points. Still around like a 90-point lead here for FaZe, so they're still feeling very comfortable right now on this map.
Zuma looking fantastic. His shot on point at 18-11. It's a 5 streak for him. More streaks could be earned here for FaZe Clan. Attach drops 1. Zuma now just an assist will do it for the fighter pilot. Turns around. Is he going to be able to find the kill? Gets it. And yep. I'd probably just make sure he was dead as well there about Zuma, but he earns himself some streaks. Attach still has a fighter pilot. FaZe Clan, a 100-point lead, still 20 seconds left on smokestacks. TK, they still have time to push it one more time, but even Replay's just getting close to some streaks now as well.
It's starting to get out of hand here, Ben. Zuma 21 and 12, Attach 18 and 7. Everybody pitching in for the FaZe Clan. You look at the side of TK, the only person slaying is Theory, who's 13 and 15 right now.
And I don't want to sound like a broken record, but this was what we were afraid of, right? When we talked about Game 4, just the massive amount of aggression that FaZe can put on the map. They have those streaks as well. TK, I mean, they are basically looking at climbing Mount Everest of a comeback.
Yeah, I really think it comes back to the lack of that defined flex role that TK don't have. You know, sometimes it's Gino, sometimes it's accuracy, and it's got to be a little frustrating as well. You know, when you're practicing, you're like, oh, you know, this map I'm gonna practice with the sub. All right, next map you practice with the sub. I feel like if you just get somebody enough reps, like they'll be able to find their groove in the role that you put them in. But regardless, into this game, TK starting to rack up some time. Kenny working his way towards some streaks. I mean, on Valkyrie, sure, it's not the most impactful map to have streaks on, but you could make it work.
Streaks are streaks, right?
I mean, look, he's unable to earn them. Now TK able to find 3 inside the vent's hardpoint, but Zuma here, he has streaks still to use, and now he's getting his own time inside the hardpoint. A 120-point lead right now for FaZe. They started off strong, and they haven't looked back since.
Yep. Again, the sub's just too good. Really, Attach and Zuma put on an absolute clinic. Replays, he's allowed to just sit in the hill, absorb some time. He has over 60 seconds himself. But as it stands, FaZe Clan's lead over 100 points. Zoomer almost had time to pull out his pistol and figure that
How
kill.
How can you not get that kill?
Zoomer almost embarrassed him. But luckily, of course, the trade does come through. It's TK. Early control here of Operations Bunker. And bear in mind, FaZe Clan do need this win to force that Game 5.
Yeah, of course. If you're TK, I think you're just trying to get warmed up. Get your shot back on point and start focus on this last map. I mean, granted, it's not over just yet, but you're facing a 90-point deficit. FaZe got streaks to use, and they're just winning all of their engagements. Obviously looking grim, but fortunately for TK fans out there, you won the Game 3. So
yep, you did the hard part.
We have a good chance of seeing a Game 5 here.
Most definitely do, unless somehow everything goes right for TK. They've got a ton of time here on Operations Bunker, and it looks like they're going to get the full 60. Still, though, no FaZe with some streaks. If TK was able to get some of their own, they're looking really at accuracy here to be that guy. 4 streak, he's picking up that scrap time. Meanwhile, Zoomer just ready and waiting to pounce. They know where he is.
There he snuck on through. He's playing over towards the loading side of the map. Kills come in over through front storage, and TK, if they get the rest of this 50 points, it seems like every time we start to doubt TK, that they find a way to come back into this game. Maybe that's the secret formula here, but TK, you have a chance. You have an opportunity to find your way back into this hard point and give yourself an opportunity to close out this series. Inside the hill, it's going to be attached now, pushing through. 3 fall for FaZe. TK maintaining their position. 30 seconds remaining. Benson, we have ourselves a game.
We most definitely do. It's kind of funny because I was thinking back about all the times I've casted TK over my career, and every time I favored them to win, they tend to lose. And every time I say they're going to lose, they tend to come back and make those wins. So, I mean, TK...
Caster's curse at its finest.
Right, it really is. But TK storming back into this one, and a fantastic bit of a comeback. Chino could find himself a double, gets it, nicely played, breaks in towards the hill. 10-second scrap time left. Accuracy, thinking about trying to win those gunfights on rotation. Not going to happen. Of course, it still is a big, big mountain to climb.
Yeah, Accuracy, you got those streaks. You figure you got to use them on this rotation as we're about to move into the office hardpoint. TK with area positioning. In fact, that's going to be Zuma. He pulls out his fire pilot, spots the last 2 remaining players, actually picks up Chino.
Wow.
I'm not sure why Chino decided to go through that doorway, just play passive, turtle inside the hardpoint. His teammates now coming off respawn. TK forced to fight out of their positioning, but it's Kenny. He's able to find 2. And TK, you got to push in. You got to contest this time, and you got to find a way to soak up some time of your own.
Well, that's a great start. Kenny shuts down attach. Hill's going to be neutral. That now gives Accuracy license to push straight in. He's pre-aiming the door and replays. Isn't going to win that gunfight. Still 30 seconds left in office. Bear that in mind. TK could really close the gap.
Yeah, and keep in mind, they faced at one point, what was it, like a 120-point deficit?
Yeah.
Now bringing it back to within 70 as Zuma X4 multi-kill. You see it popping up on the screen. By the way, he's got 40 kills.
Yeah, he's doing all right. Almost a 2 KD. He's all right. 6 streak.
Not bad.
Playing unbelievably well. Definitely fair to say. And it was attached that started off as super, super strong, and Zuma just kind of played consistent at the beginning and then really just steamrolled over the past few moments. And he has streaks of his own, and FaZe kind of looked good to put game 4 to bed. 243, 152 as we rotate over towards smokestacks. Accuracy, of course, he does have those streaks of his own, but when FaZe just needs 7 seconds and TK are looking at, what, just shy of 100 points, it's not going to happen.
We always talk about how tough a position to be in right now if you're TK, right? You have to win the rotation, you have to deny the scrap time, you still have to find a way to win all your engagements. You figure with only 7 seconds, like, FaZe have a lot of mistakes to make, and they're still in a good position to close out this game, but TK, it was just too little too late. Early on, it was only Theory slaying, and Chino does wind up stepping up a little bit later in the game. Same with Accuracy, he's able to find some streaks as well, but just too little too late. When you're facing a 120-point deficit, you're just digging yourself into a big hole, and it's so tough to climb out of.
Really is, and I mean, there's a prime example why. 45 kills coming in from Zoomer. That was what we were afraid of for the TK fans out there, and you get a clinic basically put on by FaZe Plan. A wonderful performance from them. They tie up the series 2-2, which means we get our wish, Revan. We get a USS Texas Game 5 Search and Destroy.
Absolutely love it. I mean, traditionally throughout World War II, Game 5 has been TK's bread and butter.
Yep.
They've already lost a Game 5 this weekend to Unilad. Let's see if they can rectify their mistakes here as we're about to go into USS Texas. Now, of course, this is one that, you think back to, what was it, that first event, TK versus E United, round 11. Who is it on TK? They got a collateral through the smoke to win it.
Theory, was it?
Yeah.
Theory.
TK Magic could be coming up here in this Game 5. We saw a little bit of it in that CTF. Yep. And now this is their opportunity to find their way back towards the top end of their pool and keep that winner bracket dream alive.
And again, just to reiterate, that winner's bracket dream, it's so, so important. With Unilad beating TK earlier on, TK need to win this to keep that positive record in the groups. I mean, if they finish today 1 and 2, I mean, tomorrow is going to be very, very tough for them to progress into the winner's bracket here. A win makes things so interesting. You could have 3 teams at 2 and 1.
Yeah, especially, you saw their tweets, you saw how they were acting backstage. They were very disappointed at that loss against Unilad. And sometimes you see teams do that and they mentally check themselves out of the next game, kind of like what we're seeing with Red Reserve. So good to see that TK is still here, still fighting, and they still have a great chance of remaining in the tournament. Now, USS Texas, usually it's a good map for TK, but FaZe are able to bring out some strats of their own here. Look for them to use smoke grenades to try to bait out nades from TK on their offensive rounds. I'm excited to see what both teams bring out here.
What's interesting is the difference in playstyle from both 2 teams on Texas specifically. FaZe, they're very quick. They don't really like to sit back and snipe, whereas TK often do. So we've seen double snipe setups come from TK, whereas FaZe, look for them to really control that bottom ship area, and that's why they can maybe find those openings, right? You have Zoomer and Attach trying to push through. If they can find those first bloods, I mean, this could honestly be a fantastic search and destroy.
absolutely agree with you there. I mean, we've seen it time and time again on a map like USS Texas where teams essentially trade smoke grenades for lethal grenades on the other team, and that allows the offensive team to comfortably get that bomb down. It gives them some cover, and it makes the defensive team feel a little bit uneasy. Obviously, sniper is very prevalent here. Yep. We'll see what both teams decide to bring out as we're inching closer and closer to getting this Game 5 started, but this is really how we expected the series to go. I mean, we thought we would see a Game 5. We thought it would be TK going up 2-0 and then FaZe responding back, but you know, TK, they're able to win that forced CTF, and we find ourselves here, USS Texas.
A fantastic series thus far. FaZe Clan TK on the main stage here at the CWL Birmingham Open, presented by PlayStation 4. Our Game 5 is going to be a search and destroy on USS Texas, and there really is so much on the line. That's going to be it for Revan and myself for now, but we'll be back after this with that Game 5 search and destroy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to CWL Birmingham Open, presented by PlayStation 4. The game currently on main stage. Team Kaliber versus FaZe Clan. It's Game 5 time as we head over to USS Texas. And, you know, we've talked a little bit about how important this game is several times in terms of pool standings. Well, elsewhere, Unilad, they're going toe-to-toe with Vitality. And we just watched Vitality take a crazy, crazy hard point St. Marie du Mar. It was, what, 250 to 247 final score?
Yeah, it was like 240, 240, and then both teams were just trading game ticks. Point. Then finally, Vitality were able to close it out. And if Vitality are able to win that series against Unilad, then TK are going to be feeling a whole lot better about themselves and their situation in this pool right now.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think that might be a Game 5.
It's either 1-0 or it's 2-2.
Yep, one or the other. But it is, of course, important because both those two teams, the other teams in this pool, right? So we mentioned potential for three-way ties. Vitality could play spoiler to that. But as we've mentioned, the main game here on the main stage, TK, FaZe Clan, 2-2. And we're going to that Game 5 social story right now. USS Texas, we mentioned as well the difference in playstyle between both of these two teams. TK sometimes often sit back, double snipe on defense. FaZe Clan, well, they tend to be a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, you know, TK, usually they're more like control style oriented team on USS Texas, but we have seen times where Kenny will just decide one round to completely push out one lane. Typically it's like under that A bomb site and just try to flank around, get behind enemy lines. But here we go, round number 1, kicking things off. It's going to be TK on the offensive side, FaZe on defense, and Attach, he's got the sniper in his hands.
Okay, we've seen him try it a couple of times, and well, he's already failing the boost jump. Is he going to go for it one more time? All right, Dylan, that might be time to just call that one quits.
In theory, with the snipe, he picks him off.
I love that. Attach spent 10 seconds trying to get the jump. In theory, he's like, bruh, don't even try. Managed to find the pick, and already advantage in TK. 3 versus 2 situation.
And I love that move from TK. They show some early aggression over towards the B bomb site. The smoke comes out. They get first blood as well in that lane as well. And then what do? They back on up. They figure, okay, FaZe, they think we're over at B. What are they going to do? They're going to try to set up to retake the bomb site. Let's see if we can pick them off and get some information transition, because they still have 45 seconds remaining to play. And now they're just going to go over towards A and get this objective down. And they tagged up Zuma over near top control. He's forced to back down into the back cafe, where he's going to work alongside his teammate Replays. Now, TK, they didn't commit to the bomb plant. Looked like they were, but because they knew Zuma was up top, they decided not to go for it.
Yeah, beautiful play. Now Replays 1v3. Turns into a 1v2 as he picks up Theory. Grabs the sniper rifle as well, but not going to be able to do much more damage there. Beautiful first round from TK. 1-0 up.
All right, lots of criticism for TK, you know, lately has been that they've lost their clutch factor. Well, this would be one step to proving those people wrong once again, as they start off strong. They win their first offensive round. Now let's see what FaZe have in store. Something that we saw from both teams already is sniper usage. Theory sniper for TK, Attach had it out for FaZe. Wonder how long they're going to keep with it, because, you know, sometimes we've seen if players are not finding success with the sniper, they'll wait and they won't switch off to it soon. I think as soon as you find a round where, you know, it's just not working, you start to miss shots, immediately switch and change up the pace, throw something different at your opponent.
Yep. More so just for yourself, nothing else, right? If it isn't working, just don't try and force it. Really feel a little bit more valuable maybe doing something else for the squad. But as you mentioned, FaZe now on the attacking side. Zuma throws out the nade. Chino has to leave the site. So A site has been opened up, but you see him immediately just strafe back over. If no one's going to challenge him, he'll take a free first blood every day. Zuma, though, looks to trade it out. Will do so. So 3 versus 3.
Yeah, good movement from Zuma. And Zuma actually got double naded. It was a nice setup from TK. They wanted early control of that A bomb site, so they put 2 nades over near Zuma on that staircase. Unfortunately, he has hunker, so he didn't die. Now it's a 2v3, right? Priesta and Zuma working against Kenny, Theory, and Accuracy. Time starting to wind down. It's 40 seconds remaining this round. And now FaZe, this is what happens when you decide to push over towards the cafe, right? You find yourself trapped in these mid to late round situations where you just peek out, and everywhere you go, you know that the defense is going to be set up. You know that they're watching these angles, and it feels like there's not a lot you can do.
28 seconds left. Priesta, it's his turn to be in the 1v3. It was Replays last time. Not going to have a chance of clutching that, and it's worth mentioning. Theory versus Attach, snipe fight, Theory 2, Attach 0. As soon as Theory finds that pick on Attach, instantly TK recognized, all right, let's play a little bit further back. Let's allow FaZe to try and take control of the bomb site, because if they do, we have our sniper player pre-aiming. He's either going to hit the shot, at least tag him up, if nothing else. So just a wonderful, wonderful play there from TK.
Yeah, Theory's what we call a consistent sniper, right? He's not going to be the one going for like flashy plays. He just holds down the lane and he hits his shot, and that's all you need to do. So 2 rounds played. We have 2 first bloods for TK as well as 2 rounds won. Now, they can't slow down here, and everybody pitching in right now. It's a team effort. They got to keep up this pace, and they got to keep working off of each other.
Here's what's interesting. I'm not sure if this is a misplay. Theory with the bomb, he actually changed his class out. Okay. Never mind. I was looking at the bomb. I was like, did he pick that? But no, never mind.
They've done that play, you know, at earlier tournaments, right, where they smoke off that cross and then they go for that bomb plant out in the open. But I think he maybe peeked out a little bit too early there. Granted, you got a round to play with if you're TK. Accuracy's going to re-pick up this bomb as it's a 4v2, doable for TK, but still a very tough situation. Just looking for a pick before you go for the objective plant.
Oh, is that pick going to come? Accuracy pinches down over towards Priester. He's one challenge. Accuracy has to challenge it. Doesn't really have much other choice. He needs to just try and give TK a bit of a chance here of clutching this up from the 2v4 now to the 2v3.
So got a smoke to play with. Spots Replays over near that A bomb site. Tough fight to take, and he's just going to immediately back down. As you see, Kenny starting to move up on the map as well. As Accuracy falls, it's all up to Kenny. He backs up to his base, does spot Zuma, has the angle, waiting for the opportunity to take the shot as he goes up. Well, botches some shots there. Zuma gets away with his life, and now 20 seconds remaining for Kenny. He's just looking to stay alive, maybe keep progression. Well, he dies almost instantly after as FaZe find their first round win.
A nice response there from FaZe. And You know, we mentioned sometimes players keep the sniper out too long. Well, maybe Theory should have maybe kept it out a little bit there. Obviously, switches to his sub, tries to go for that quick plant, which, you know, is a strat we've seen TK have great success with, but this time just doesn't work out in their favor. So FaZe, they win their first round, still advantage TK. TK now going back on that attacking side.
Yeah, maybe he peeked out a little too early to get that objective planted. Always good to wait for that smoke to fully bloom. But regardless, TK back on their defensive round. Theory going to bring the sniper back out, going up against Attach for that first blood battle. Let's see if he can connect once again.
And he hasn't lost the fight yet.
And look, he's changing up his spot as well. Sometimes he's up top on the balcony. Now he's down low. Does spot Attach here. Ooh, Attach gets him this time.
Nicely done. So Attach will win the fight this time, and Attach actually gets himself a double. That's a 4 streak as well for him. A bomb being planted. This realistically the perfect round from FaZe Clan.
Yeah, absolutely. You get the man advantage, but here comes Chino immediately onto the bomb, and he knows that it should be Attach over near top control. In fact, he's going to spot 2. Can't find the multiple kills as you saw 3 players for FaZe just converging onto that bomb site. Nice try from Chino right there, but just too many people to handle for him.
That could have been majestic, but
okay, I was wondering, I think Replays killed his teammate there.
a little bit of friendly fire.
So love tap.
Love taps, yep. It's all fine. It's all fine. FaZe, level it up. 2-2. Attach, of course, starting to heat up a little bit now with that sniper rifle. 5-2 his stat line. So on a 5 streak, curious to see if maybe he can get some streaks to play with. It could give FaZe the advantage in this series.
Yeah, sure, nice to have, especially for post-plant positionings over near that A-bomb site, right? But typically on USS Texas, they're not super impactful. A lot of people just run mountain generally, and there's just a lot of cover to take. But obviously the best is for this post-plant positioning over near that A-bomb site. It's Theory once again. We're going to go for the strat. Smoke comes out. Replays setting up for the nade. Hunker is equipped for Theory. Eats the first one. Gets the objective down. Now TK just needed to set up in their post-plant positioning and let FaZe come to them.
Kind of surprised you didn't see a second nade fly over towards that side as soon as
Always good to coordinate them.
Yeah, always. But Chino, he's going to find that first pick on Priest. Attach able to trade out, make it a 3v3. Theory drops. You see Zuma just recognizes 28 seconds left. You have to play this aggressively. You can't be passive. Kenny's still alive at the back. 2v1. Replays last man alive.
Yeah, and actually gets the information, knows where Replays is. Now 20 seconds remaining. Kenny versus Replays. Replays is going to spot him here. Initial shots go in favor of Kenny, and Replays, you feel like he might have to commit to this fight. The nade comes in, but he misses. Oh, if Replays was holding that, there's maybe a chance that he gets the stick, gets the defuse, but now Kenny knows he's not defusing that bomb. Replays is just going to back on up and play for his streaks, keep his progression.
That was the key. He was kind of stuck in 2 minds there, right? Simply because he's so close to those streaks, 200 points away. Could he have stuck it? Probably.
Maybe.
Probably.
There's a chance.
There's definitely a chance, but you saw how he was trying to play it, right? As soon as that nade missed, from Kenny's POV, he doesn't get the hit marker, and he's thinking, well, did I throw it in the right place? Yeah. He didn't, so he has to check the bomb. So Replays is basically playing for just great time and catching Kenny mid-sprint. Sadly, though, Kenny manages to just avoid it, and Replay still gets away with his life, so still a key player to watch in this search. So
yeah, where's Priesta, by the way? 0-5, still yet to find
he's maybe
have a presence.
Applying to the agency.
Okay, well, we'll see if he's able to get that exclusive membership. But Zuma in that previous round, he was in a position to make the important play right as he was pushing through that A-side deck. It's so important to clear out the position when you're trying to retake the bomb and go for the defuse because there's so much area for that offensive team to work with in that post-plant positioning. Zuma unfortunately fell, and Kenny's able to stay alive in that area. Clutches around for TK as they find themselves back in the lead in this game, 3-2 round count. But it's going to be FaZe on offense. Not a lot happening this round, just going for that control-oriented style of play. Finally, FaZe look like they'll commit to this B-bomb site.
And again, this is one of those situations where, you know, if you are Priester and you're not having the best amount of success, you start trying to plant that bomb as quickly as you possibly can. Maybe try and bait for Replays to get those streaks as well. And they start being a bit of a team player if you can, but Priester ultimately gets picked by Theory. But did get the bomb down, and Replays sat at the back of the map. Beautiful positioning, gets the double and the fighter pilot as well to go with it. A beautiful decision from him.
Yeah, funny, I was just talking about how much area people have, like that offensive team to work with all the way near those back turret guns. As Theory brings out the sniper, not a lot you can do there. As soon as you get the information, FaZe are just going to collapse. That was a great round from FaZe, and now Replays with those streaks. If TK are counting it and they're tracking it properly, then they should kind of know that for future offensive rounds, it's probably going to be an A-bomb site attack for FaZe.
Yeah, more than likely. A wonderful round from Replays, of course. Played it slow, played it methodical. And now we're all tied up once again. 3 rounds apiece here in the Search and Destroy. It really has been a great series so far. Priest is still 0-6 though. Will he join the agency? That's the question. But when Replays is at 8-2, he's picking up his teammate's slack.
Hey man, I've been there before. It happens.
But
look, he's making the right adjustments, right? He's got 2 bomb plants, and he's just trying to do what he can for his team. If he could put his team in a better position, he's just another one of those selfless players. Love watching that. as it's going to be Theory. Does spot Priesta early on, gets the information. He's going to take the shots. No, it's going to be first blood coming in as Attach takes down Chino. Accuracy's there for the trade, but here comes Theory trying to follow this one up. Misses some shots, commits to the fight on Zuma. He's going to lose that as well, as it's going to be FaZe now in a commanding position in this round. A 1v3 situation for Kenny. Nice trade kill there onto Zuma. Makes it a 1v2, which is a much more manageable position.
Yeah, Priesta and Replays, the two players alive for FaZe. Replays is going to get spotted, and Kenny is just beaming. He wants it. He has him weak, but Priesta to the rescue. And it's worth mentioning the way Priesta even played the gunfight down low with Zuma. Zuma gets the miraculous double, but Priesta was there to trade that kill regardless.
Priesta's on the board, baby.
No 0-7s from him.
But I mean, you can't blame Kenny for challenging right there. He knows he's in a 1v2, well, was a 1v3, brought it down to a 1v2, has Replays tagged up weak, commits to the fight, tries to make it the 1v1, playing with the high ground advantage. Unfortunately, the crossfire was just set up in perfect time for FaZe, and this has been such a back and forth game. It was TK jumping out early, right? They win the first 2 rounds, FaZe answer back, and then they've just been trading rounds back and forth, back and forth. FaZe on offense now with streaks to work with.
I mean, you even look at the first blood column, relatively even. TK with 4, FaZe with 3. So, again, just unbelievably back and forth, but it's FaZe on the attacking side, and this is where you may actually see those streaks from Replays come into play. You see the way that FaZe are set up a little slow. Replays has put himself right at the back of the map. He's not going to allow any fluky kills to come in on him. The fighter pilot comes in, but Theory's already got first blood. No one using Mountain at all from TK, but this is the problem with Texas, right? You can get the streaks all you want, but if TK just play inside, you're in some trouble.
Yeah, TK knew that there were streaks in play, right? So they all stack up inside bottom cafe. They get first blood as well onto Zuma. It's going to be Attach pushing in. He's looking to catch someone off guard. Keep him on the bomb now being planted over at that B bomb site. Attach gets found. 4 on 2 now. Replays trying to use his post-plant positioning. And keep in mind, I don't think that glide bomb is going to be able to take out the diffuser. 1v4 now for him. Should be able to get a kill here on Chino, but you immediately go for the defuse. Replays is on the other side of the map. He's just trying to work for that artillery barrage. Not going to get it. TK, they're going to tie the game up once again as they get the defuse there. Good retake and a solid round overall.
Yep.
I wonder if they think that there's a glide bomb in play now, since they used the fighter pilot first. I think it's safe to assume that they're so close together, right, that he's got to have it.
You would assume so. Yeah. I think it's fair to say, right? Or you should at least play it safe. But then you say that, they didn't even put on Mountain, right? They said, well, we know he has streaks. We'll just play bottom middle. We'll just play inside. In theory, of course, gets the first blood. So they're obviously not really afraid of the streaks that he has. But a great performance so far from Reap, 9-3. But we're all tied up, 4 rounds apiece.
If there's ever a time for TK magic, TK fans, you want it to happen right here, right now. We're starting to inch closer to the final rounds of the game as Chino first blood there onto Attach.
4. That's his 4th first blood of the game. Accuracy, he finds Zuma, and it's looking good for TK to put himself at match point.
Yeah, accuracy. I think he challenged this fight. Chino's going to move in for the trade as well. Priesta, 1 shot. That's an easy kill. Once again, all up to Replays, a 1v4. That's how you work the man advantage. Textbook play right there from TK. They get the first blood. They isolate players over near bottom cafe. Priesta gets tagged up, and then they work the pinch. Chino comes from the front, and all of a sudden, it seems like the round just started, and Replays is the last one alive, a 1v4. Still has a glide bomb left to play with, yes, but TK now 1 round away from taking this series in the game 5.
Now it comes down to how does FaZe play this, right? Because yes, they have the glide bomb. Now if you're TK and you're assuming they have a glide bomb,
quick plan A.
You probably know they're going to go to A, right? So in all honesty, if you're TK, you stack the A site, right? Because the A site really is only going to be where the glide bomb is going to be effective.
Okay, so if you're FaZe, I think you just smoke it up, go right for that plant. TK, maybe they try to coordinate a double nade onto that bomb site, and then you just have Replay sit in the back. He has to stay alive in this round because you're going to need that glide bomb.
It looks like they may actually try and use the glide bomb to go for the pick, and that's the point right there. The glide bomb comes in whilst the bomb is being planted. Now, it isn't going to get a kill, but it will allow the bomb to go down, but Kenny draws first blood. That's attached. Replay's there to trade that out directly, as now it's a 3v3. Accuracy shuts down Replays, tries to tag up the player top mid, but he gets traded out. Now it's Zuma 1v2.
Comes around the flank, spots Chino, picks up the kill, down to a 1v1, 3 versus Zuma. The map point for TK. Shots being exchanged by both players. Zuma go for the kill, pre-final round, and he gets it. We're going to round 11.
A crazy 1v1, which ultimately came down to Zuma tickling the toes of Theory. And that, the 1v1 to force the round 11.
Look how weak he is, man. His screen is full red. 1 more bullet from Theory is all it needed. And it was close. They used the glide bomb to get the plan. At least TK now know no more streaks available for FaZe, but it comes down to this 1 final round.
And it was great coordination, great timing. Of course, you can't challenge the bomb planter when there's a glide bomb in the air. But now, as you said, round 11, FaZe on the attacking side, Replays at 10-5 has been a massive factor. But then on the flip side, you look at TK, 8 kills for Accuracy, 8 for Chino. Speaking of Chino, oh, first blood pick from Theory. What a snipe there on attach.
Yeah, he had success with the sniper earlier on, relies on it here in round 11, finds the first blood. So now it's going to be up to FaZe. The early smoke goes out over towards the B bomb site, but they're not going to commit. Looking for another pick to even up the man advantage before they decide to lay the objective down. If you're a TK, just play control. It's up to FaZe. FaZe have to plant the bomb, right? They have to force the action to happen. TK just need to hold their spots and just let FaZe push up and try to hit the shots when they get the opportunity.
And play around the information you get given. 45 seconds left.
Catch.
Hold that nade. Potentially he's weak, but Zuma can't challenge the pre-fire, of course, from Kenny. Is he going to go for round 2? Doesn't look like he wants it just yet.
Yeah, no need to commit. 30 seconds remaining. FaZe still have to get the bomb down, and there you go. As time winds down, FaZe have to go, and they have to force this to happen. They took too long to find action over near the bomb site. Not to 4v2. TK, you send one person to the back of the map, have the other 3 challenge the bomb site just in case. You got this round 11 in the bag.
Oh, and I think Replay's actually just spotted Theory. Theory up top. He's done the boost jump with the sniper rifle. Bomb will go down. Now the question is, can they stay alive? Replay's not going to win the fight. Chino shuts down Zuma, and TK, well, you asked, do they still have their clutch factor? That's a Game 5 round 11 win to keep them well and truly in the driving seat here in pool play.
I mean, what a game from TK. A perfect round 11 by them. On the defensive end, they don't